presented to council soon, probably in August or September. We'll be presenting this upcoming impact fee study for water and wastewater, which identifies all of these projects. So that's going to wrap up the capital improvement program unless you have any questions. Okay.
I'm briefly going to talk about the staffing levels compared to our comparison cities. For me, I'm a data girl, so I will let you guys look at this data. If you can see that the FTE full-time equivalent ratio to residents per employee is higher than our surrounding cities. And what we did was took the formula of the population, again, this population was established by COG that we're referencing, along with our approved FTE of 223 employees, divided by the residents, you get 213. Now, one thing that we've mentioned in this presentation is that staffing is a need and a challenge for us. However, we have a lean staffing model, and we can pride ourselves on that. We're getting the work done without needing to put FTE towards processes. And during this budget season, especially this last quarter, as Kelly mentioned, we've really been challenging us to be more efficient with our processes and how we do things, implementing technology in different ways. One thing about it with the city of Princeton that I pride ourselves on, when we are lean, we get innovative. So I'm so grateful for all the departments coming together, banding together to make sure that we provide excellent service to our residents. But in addition to this lean staffing model, I do not want to give the wrong message. We do need to grow along with the population. As we heard, there are many incentives. There are many things that are coming down the pipe, such as the center, the recreation center. We have parks online. We have public safety needs, as well as more subdivisions growing within the city. So with this, we can go based off of a ratio, right? We can make up this thing that says, hey, for every 1,000 residents, we need 2 employees, but we don't assess our workforce with that. As mentioned in the past, our assessment of our workforce is based on the workload, the efficiencies, and not necessarily the average. But I do want to challenge the council on this. Just keep in mind when approving this budget, is our staff growing with the population? Is our staff growing with the needs and the expectations that you have on the city? And I ask that you please keep that in mind when we're moving forward with the budget, when we're trying to make financial decisions and considering the taxes.
And I will say one thing, that the staff don't only deal with Princeton residents. We're dealing with ETJ residents. We're dealing with county residents. A lot of emails I see coming in is from county residents that staff is looking into concerns, stuff like that. So this isn't just based on the needs of the population. We are hitting way above where we should be, and because unfortunately, we support more than just the Princeton city residents. We support county as well. So, and a lot of those questions come through us, where we have to identify who they should be speaking to, or try to solve issues that might be a city-county relationship. So I would say that, yeah, definitely we need to right-size staff as soon as possible with the funds that we have.
So, Mayor, couldn't agree more. And also, we have a huge population of traffic that flows through the city as well. So one thing I do want to point out, and so I know I kind of, I don't want to say beaten this number into staff's mind, is that 47,530. And the reason why I did that is because that is COG's number. Not every single city reports the same, and COG is usually about a year and a half behind on that population number. But at the end of the day, whenever staff is presenting something, we see different population numbers that it's out there. So one model would have 63,000, another model would have 57,000, another model would have 40-something thousand, right? So we wanted that baseline number, so we decided to kind of, for this budget presentation, to go with COG's number as well, but just something to kind of keep in your mind. There is a way to count population. It's often average is 3.2 per water meter that's out there. And so with all of our water meters that's out there, including the multifamily, on a multifamily, you run 2.8 people per water meter. On a residential, you run 3.2 people per water meter. Right now, we are sitting at roughly projected population of 64,420. So with that, that is an average. There's nothing other than water meters kind of going off of and population per water meter. This is a number that is from COG. COG is always roughly about a year behind, and I don't even know how they get their statistical data from that.
Question then, are all of our departments preparing for the big 5-0? Because once we hit 50,000, we have to have the MPO, the road assumptions we're gonna have to take on from state and county. Our stormwater and environmental compliance goes up, and our PD requirements
Yes, ma'am. So
significantly increase.
the police department, fire department, all emergency services, there's a bunch of requirements in there. So before I stepped into the city manager role, we started looking at that because there's different population requirements that's out there. But it is a adopted population. So either one, city council adopts a population of 50,000 or more, and or two, we wait till the census comes out and that population gets adopted at 50,000 or more. So as of this point in time, yes, we have to work to right-size the budget, and so we're gonna end up kind of talking about that again here in a little bit. We have to work to right-size the budget, but then prepare for whenever that 50,000 marker hits, because there's gonna be insurance, there's gonna be all these other different things that is going to hit us, that if we don't start taking into account for it now, we're gonna be blindsided here in about the next couple of years.
So it's the official census, it's not the census test that's gonna be going out that will affect us, correct?
Yes, ma'am, it has to be federal.
Okay, well, because the U.S. Bureau is doing a 2026 field test of the census this year. I just want to make sure that's not going to impact us.
No, ma'am, it's going to be the official one.
Okay, so 2030.
Yes, ma'am. So, and if y'all remember, the council does have that option, not heavily recommended, but the council does have that option to go out and to adopt a population. We had to end up doing that whenever we created the commercial motor vehicle unit inside the city. We had to be over 25,000. So we adopted a population over 25,000, which we were over at that point in time.
All right, thank you.
Mayor, council, staff, I know it was an extremely long day today, but it could be 2 days, right? So we try to force everything within one day and try to get everything going on. Again, council, we did provide y'all with notebooks as far as the org charts, as far as the different plans and all of this stuff, so that way y'all could go home and kind of review some of the things that was talking about today. I know it's informational overload, and so I did bring Ms. Kelly back up here in a little bit because we do have some big decisions that we're gonna have to make, and we're gonna have to make them here pretty soon. And so there's some different options that's gonna end up being out there, but one big one is gonna be the tax rate. If we're looking at what we're looking at doing with that, we do have a lot of directors out here that's asking for a lot of things. So we gotta show how much can offset the budget. Kelly talked about how big or how much the budget was upside down for the remainder of this year, where we already had to put everything on a freeze, what it's gonna look like going into next year. So we've got to be aware of that and how we're gonna try to offset that too as well. And so right here and now, we're gonna ask for general overview direction from y'all on how y'all would like us to start proceeding until the next city council meeting.
I guess I'll start by saying that I think it's, to your point, it's very obvious that we have a lot of projects in the pipeline. We have a lot of need from our staff. And I said this a billion times, like, to your point, we have to look at pulling that lever of increasing our tax rate. Obviously, to get some of these, parks projects completed, we're going to have to do so at some capacity. I guess for me, my recommendation to the staff would be is, I'd like to hear like your recommended scenarios. And then I think there's a two-part to that, and I'm picking on you, Aaron. We have to communicate this to the public, right? Because, you know, you say raising taxes and they're just shut off. So we have to work on how we're going to say that and how we're going to explain why this is important and how this gets you what you're asking for, so on and so forth. And luckily we're coming
Mr.
up.
Rutledge, there's plenty of times that I see comments, right, about why are we not like this city and some of the cities that were named in that chart. So the messaging is, hey, if you want roads, public safety, streets, parks, then this is what you've got to get to. So I agree with you. It's framing it.
Yep, yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, I would just say, you know, when it comes down to increasing the staffing, I love that the common theme I've heard is like, we're trying to be lean, we're trying to do, I think there's some critical areas where we have to just kind of, again, just make some real tough decisions and pull the levers. So I think we've, you know, between Chief of you know, looking across the board, like identifying what those areas are so we can really kind of pick that apart and determine what we want to do. So that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, and I would agree. My ask would be that if we're going to ask for any type of rate increase, that we let the residents know what they get for that. So it's not just a blind, hey, give us more money. But I want to kind of guarantee that what they're going to get, whether it's more fire stations, whether that's making sure that the parks project happen, whether that's, I mean, even though it looks bad on us because we have to go back on it, but at the same time, the truth is what it is, right? And if they want certain things to happen, this is what. But I want to kind of tie these increases to things that benefit the residents, so it's not just a blank check. And if we can do that, push the messaging, then that's how we can build trust too when we actually accomplish what we're saying that we're going to do.
I agree, and I believe it's also important to communicate that we just exploded from being just a really small community to growing so, you know, exponentially large. Infrastructure was not able to keep up with growth. Our tax base and the things that people require, we were not able to effectively put those in place to keep up with what residents would require or are asking for. And to just give a genuine status of where we are, what our challenges, what our current challenges are, the funding that's going to be required, and how we need residents to participate in that partnership with us to get the city that they want to live in.
So that's a big one too as well. If y'all remember whenever we're going through all the board slides, as far as how many vacancies are gonna end up being out there, we need a lot of partnership that's gonna be out there. And the biggest one is gonna be that CIAC partnership, right? So we have to push those things.
Do you think it'll be beneficial to going back to appointed seats as far as where council appoints somebody, because we're having difficulty filling some of these seats, and I think that if we took that responsibility of going out and finding somebody to appoint, that we will potentially fill these seats, because some of these seats have been open for a long time, and residents are not
Yeah, I think
applying.
anything right now could definitely help. I do want to go back and look over the rules of the CIAC, right? And see if council can actually appoint somebody in there, because I do think that there is, we can recommend somebody, but not necessarily appoint them. But let me go back and read through those, Testing. All right. So let me go back and kind of look over some of those rules and regulations around the CIEC. But that's not to say we can't push people out there to try to go to it, right? But I want to say overall, besides the CIEC, I know it's not up there right now. We had P&Z, we had,
It's the ZBA board that's been open forever, so we haven't appointed nobody to that board.
We have cases that need to go before that board that haven't gone and they've been waiting a while.
and I know one of our last meetings, I want to say it was the CDC meeting. I forget who was here. Someone was here with me. CDC meeting. We had an individual who had just been there for 2 or 3 times in a row, and I asked him, I was like, "Are you wanting to be a part of the board?" He goes, "No one's ever approached me and talked to me about it, but yeah, I would love to participate in there." So it's just starting out those small conversations like that. So, but I think not only is that going to help from council, but from staff as well. Every single one of these boards that we're going to, and we see open spots, vacancies, and all this stuff, we got to push. We got to get out there and try to make those connections to try to fill that stuff in.
So a recommendation from myself is that, again, I think I iterated that the proposed budget will come into the first August meeting. My recommendation is I come in with the flat proposed budget. You have all the material that the departments have asked for, the needs, their assessments, as well as the detailed supplements. If there's something that we have not funded in there, let's talk it out. Let's walk through it. Let's see if we can find some way to get there. That would be my recommendation, just to get your feedback.
And as soon as you get that to us, because I don't want to get up to the deadline where we have to, adopt a budget, and we can have some time, because it might be a back and forth where we do look and say, hey, maybe we move this around, or maybe we move that around. I just don't want to get that to the last point to where we have to adopt, and then now we're beyond that time, and we kind of feel like that we're forced to adopt it based on stuff that we don't agree with necessarily. So.
Understood. I did get certified totals this morning, so I'll be working on that first thing, putting that last piece of the puzzle in, get you the budget as quickly as possible. Am I hearing from you, Mayor, that maybe we have a budget workshop outside of the budget workshop planned at the second council meeting?
I mean, we can. I'm pretty sure everybody will recommend things based on what you propose, but we will need a copy of it before if we're going to have a workshop. I don't want to kind of look at it at the workshop because it's going to take so much time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It'd be the first meeting, you're just going to get the budget, no action except for setting the public hearing in September, as well as the tax rate in September. But the budget workshop would be the second meeting in August.
Okay.
If that's okay with you, Mayor.
Yep.
So just thought process behind that is start within your head. Understand we're trying to figure out all the money and all the other stuff. Start within your head where the priorities are going to end up lying, right? And so you'll see again within your books, everything that's out there. You had all the directors that come out and visit with y'all, kind of let you know on a general overview, everything that's out there. So we start looking at where the priorities in your mind might be from what you hear from social media, all that other stuff. So that way, when you start kind of pushing that direction, so that way we give staff a direction on what we need to start looking into.
All right. I appreciate you. Is that all? Are we done?
Yes.
So at this point in time, that concludes pretty much the presentation, everything that we ended up going into. Did you want something else? Do you feel like you need another hour or two? Because
No.
No, it's just
another-
asking where's happy hour?
Okay. Fair enough. So I guess this strategic retreat and budget all squished up into one, trying to get it all knocked out within one day. So just feedback on all that, feel free to email us or let us know one way or the other, right? I will tell you, appreciate staff. I know there was a whole lot of stuff that went in within a short amount of time. Everybody being up here. City Council, I know that y'all are missing out either on your full-time jobs or your time off and all this stuff. Being up here, thank you very much for your time and kind of listening to everybody. Overall, tremendously great job. Phenomenally great job. I know we had to power through a lot of stuff and get through it really quickly. I'm very proud of everybody. Very proud of everybody.
And I want to say one last thing before we leave out. I want to thank Chief. I know he doesn't like this, but I don't care. He's been really the glue in this transition time with staff and everybody. I believe that we had a small bleed in the beginning, but he is the reason why we still have the staff that we have here now. And I want to thank him for all the hard work. We speak almost every day. So I know he's working hard. We speak from 6 in the morning to maybe 6, 7, 8 at nighttime sometimes, depending on what's going on in the city. So I know that he's working triple time to keep the city going. So I want to thank you so much for your time, man.
So I know technically we are still in an open meeting right now, so here in a second, we're probably gonna have to close it out, correct? Yep, look at me, Robert Rules of Order. Yep, so we're gonna have to end up doing a vote as far as direction goes and all this stuff, and then we'll close out the meeting.
All right, at this time, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
I second.
All right, Mr. Rutledge, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Nope. The time is 3:46. Thank you.